Okay, moving straight along. We had our first keynote speaker in Ben Simpfendorfer at the beginning of this morning. Now we're moving to our second keynote speaker, and that is Franck Moreno. Franck is the general manager here in Hong Kong for Kingfisher Sourcing Organization. Franck's been with Kingfisher for a number of years now, and I think he was, in fact, Franck, you were in charge of the Shanghai offices, weren't you, for a number of years?
Absolutely, yeah, for 4 years.
4 years, right? So worked in China, worked across Shanghai, and now heading up the operations here in Hong Kong. Franck's going to be sharing with us, again, with that consumer in mind. With the consumer in mind, how can we align our sourcing strategies with the consumers? So, ladies and gentlemen, please give a very warm French chamber welcome to Franck Moreno.
Thank you very much, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the last man standing between you and lunch, so I'm going to try to keep it dynamic and onboard you for a ride on the high-speed train of retail. Consumers' influence on our sourcing strategy in the whole improvement world. I'll take this presentation in 3 parts. First, an introduction to the Kingfisher Group, then taking you through what are the key consumer trends that we see in our markets, and especially in the home improvement. And finally, come back to how all that is impacting our sourcing strategy and our sourcing organization. First, quick introduction to the Kingfisher Group. We are not talking about the Kingfisher Airlines or the Kingfisher beer here at all. We are Europe's largest home improvement retailer, number 3 in the world. We've got global sales of around £11 billion and retail profit just below £800 million as well. We are trading with just below 1,100 stores in about 8 countries, and we have around 78,000 employees worldwide. So behind Kingfisher, there are 5 retail brands, B&Q, Castorama, Brico Dépôt, Screwfix, and Costas. And every week, we are welcoming around 6 million customers in our stores, and a bit more now as well on our websites. So if we look at the way these global sales are split, 40% come from the French market today, another with Castorama and Brico Dépôt brands, another 42% from UK and Ireland with B&Q and Screwfix. And the other fast-growing part of the business is international, which is just below 20% of our sales today. We've got different formats for our stores. The first one being what we call home improvement, which is above DIY. It's really home improvement with 2 main brands, B&Q, around 40 stores worldwide, mainly in the UK, but as you can see as well, in China. We've got Costas, our brand in stores in Turkey, and then around 200 stores under the Castorama brand in France, in Poland, and in Russia as well. The other part of the business is what we call the trade and discount. And we've got a very interesting, successful format with Screwfix, starting in the UK with a very, very traditional approach of a catalog, printed catalog. Then we moved to a website. We've got about 20,000 online products today. And as well, we open trade counters all around the country. We've got about 335 trade counters now. And it's interesting to see that the whole business shifted from the traditional catalog to online, and then as well back to stores. And now Screwfix, starting now, will be able to deliver and supply products all over 20 countries in Europe, sorry. There are 20,000 products in 20 countries thanks to a very robust supply chain, and all that from their website. The other format is then the Brico Dépôt format, which is really the discount. And we've got about 150 stores under the Brico Dépôt format in France, in Spain, opening soon in Portugal, and we've just bought 15 stores in Romania. 2 of them were transformed into Brico Dépôt last week. So the vision of the group is to propose and to enable our customers to build better homes, to have better lives. And this vision has been embedded into a strategy, a plan called Creating the Leader, with 4 main pillars. I won't go into all the details, but some of these pillars I want to highlight because they are quite important then for the way we source and the way we develop products. First, we want to make it easier for our customers to improve their home, and that's mainly about products, innovative products, eco products. But as well, we want to make it easier for customers to shop, and that's about multi-channel and different way of shopping, different experiences. We want then to build innovative products, build under common brands, and I'll show you some of our retail, behind the retail brands or product brands as well. We definitely want to expand around the world and in our existing country, and as well developing a network under one team with a very strong sustainability program as well that we call the Net Positive Initiative. So the product offer is differentiated as well between our different store formats. For the home improvement side of the B&Q, Castorama and Costas, we've got 10 brands now with a different specific brand identity, and they all as well trade on a specific product category, as you can see here, covering all the products that we sell in our stores. On the trade and discount side, we've got as well specific different brands, mainly on technical products, as you can see here, and that will be only distributed into the Brico Dépôt and Screwfix. So talking now about the Kingfisher sourcing organization, and we see later on the impact of the consumer on this one. So we are an integrated network of about 10 sourcing offices worldwide. We've built two platforms, one in the far sourcing with Hong Kong and Shanghai, and some other small satellite offices in other places, as you can see, and then a near sourcing platform with two hubs, one in Warsaw and another one in Istanbul. We are going to celebrate our 20 years anniversary this year, in 2014. And as you can see, it all started here in Hong Kong in 1994. But from this small operation here, mainly China-centric as well, in terms of direct sourcing operation, we've evolved then, opening more offices around the world to a more global sourcing organization. Talking about size and scale, we're about 400 people worldwide. We manage about $1.6 billion of FOB shipments. We buy from around 1,000 factories worldwide, and that's translating to 70,000 containers that we ship from about 100 ports and 36 countries of origin. But this is the heart of what we do. This is about products, and we source, develop, and supply about 45,000 products every year. In 2013 only, we developed about 15 new products, so you see that we are, in terms of new product development, a kind of war machine. And all that has to translate into something that we call cash, yeah? And all these 45,000 products generate about 20% of the group sales, which is about 2.2 billion pounds. So we've got a very high penetration on some categories, and you see that in our catalogs. This is the Castorama France Garden catalog that's just been released last week. So we supply, so about just below 40%. On the B&Q decorative ranges as well, we're reaching about 40% of market share, and same on the Castorama kitchen and bathroom catalog. So that's it for you guys to get a better understanding of what we do as a Kingfisher retailer, and as well on the sourcing side. Now, let's get into our consumer and our consumer trends. There are global trends, and I think Anson and some of you guys have mentioned that before. There are global trends that we need to acknowledge. There is socio-demographic changes, connectivity everywhere, resources scarcity, climate change, urbanization everywhere, more mobility. So these global trends are definitely influencing the consumer behaviors. And out of all these trends, again, there are four I would like to highlight. The first one is really going mobile, and it's about a kind of Googleization of the society. For us, as a retailer, that's very important because it means that the users are expecting the kind of same smart, quick experience in store that they have on their apps and their mobile phones. Buying sustainable, even if the assembly doesn't look very excited about it here, that is very important, especially for home. So we see our consumers moving to consider their consumptions. They want to make sense and reflect their belief in what they buy. More important as well for home. In this world of moving, fast-changing crisis, people are looking for safety and security And there is really a move from house to home. So everybody's looking for a safe haven and a comfortable place. That's translating in a lot of important things for us as a home improvement retailer. But let's be clear, there is as well a great consumer reset, and prices remain a huge focus. And we see a lot of consumer in this financial economic crisis trading down and looking always for cheaper prices. So all these trends influencing consumers are as well changing our homes. The room's usage are changing. We are getting more and more important for bathroom and kitchen. There are more and more important rooms. We look for modularity in our rooms, in our homes. We have small space, so we need to optimize it, especially here in Hong Kong. We are looking for energy and water savings to reduce the bill every month. We want, and we have more technology, and that is getting into our homes. It means as well the home automation is on the way now. We talk about that for 20 years. It's really happening. And there is more and more need for green in the gray area around. So all that is as well changing the products we are developing and sourcing, and we need to acknowledge it. So all these trends are transforming retail, and we hear a lot about the ends of brick and mortars. Do we need shop anyway? Clearly, we believe there is still a lot of place for brick and mortars, but what we acknowledge is the e-commerce is growing 10 times the rate of offline retail. So we need to be there as well. But more than the end of the bricks and mortars, we believe we are entering a new era of interactive retail, where we talk about reverse showrooming, we talk about integrated online, offline, more physical, digital, pop-up stores, mobile phone floor, mobile shop floor, etc. So there are a lot of trends, and they are getting into our stores as well. So this will impact our stores and the way we trade, but this will as well impact the entire supply chain and the manufacturing. So we talk about this new industrial revolution, global value chains being redistributed by new technologies on one side and labor market shift on the other side. So if you just look at that, the technologies we start, and some retailers as well are investing now in 3D, 4D printings. We talk about crowdfunding innovation, about think it and 3D it, co-creating products, designing to shelves, mass customization. That's a lot of challenges around. At the same time, the labor market are shifting, and we have created a near sourcing platform to answer that. So the products getting closer to the market. We talk about plug-and-play factories or lean manufacturing, more and more small-scale manufacturing. So all these will impact retail, but again, supply chain and manufacturing as well. So in our world, we've done a survey about consumers as well, and we asked 15,000 consumers about what they think will be the future, what is changing, what is important to them. To highlight very quickly, 4 are the main trends. First is home is where the heart is. And clearly, people are spending a huge amount of money in their homes to improve their homes. And it's not only to improve the quality, to resell their homes, but really to improve their way of life. 9 out of 10 Europeans undertake home improvements. You see that it's more important and more money spent there than on holiday or special treats for a partner. So the home is really everything. And it's about as well lifestyle and not only adding value to the property cost. This means that for us as a retailer, we have to inspire. It's not only about price there, we have to inspire them by creating an offer for all and challenge for everyone. And we try to do that by coordinating our offer, and since 10 years now, we work across all our decorative ranges with 4 style houses, multicolor home, contemporary, authentic, or heritage, which allow us to develop and build products across category, proposing as well to the customers coordinated fashions, colors, materials. The second big trend is everybody's doing it, or everybody wants to do it because it's cheaper anyway. So there are differences across the market. In UK, consumers are the keenest gardeners, the German are the most confident DIYers, the French are spending the most money into their homes, but all of them, what they say is they need help, they need advices, because it's still, and more for the young generation, they are not big DIYers, so they need help to go and do it on their own. And that's why we've launched a few different marketing campaigns, but as well tools, product and services to make it easier for people to do DIY. So the innovation for us is not the innovation for the sake of it. All of the innovation we are developing and working on is to develop the ease of use for the customers. Third, and we talked about that earlier, internet is definitely part of the toolkit. Interestingly, in DIY is mainly for research, comparing prices or seeking advices. And you see that there are differences from one market to another, but in blue, this is all the activity of information research, and in green, moving to the act of buying and purchasing. So big differences. In France, less than 20% of the consumers are buying home improvement products online. In Germany, it's about 50%. So there are clearly differences there. But there is no one approach, so it's really a multi-channel approach. Our consumers are going on a website to look for information, data, but they move to store as well. And the majority of the purchases are still done into our stores. But to accelerate this trend, we've been developing as well our multi-channel solutions, like many other retailers. We've got Castorama and B&Q apps. We've got click and collect solution, and we've got as well the how-to video, helping our customers to move the next steps in doing DIY. Last but not least trend, eco is going mainstream. It's maybe even more important in DIY and in home improvement because the most popular eco investment is about energy saving. So in our world, going green is about, of course, the transparency of the supply chain, but it is as well very, very concrete for customers. It's about saving energy or saving water. Yeah? And 80% of our consumers are saying that it's very important for them to live in an eco-friendly house. And you see that they do care about eco-certified products, and especially for their timber, and they do care about energy or water savings equipment. We have, as well, to answer that, a very ambitious net positive strategy with our CEO, Jan Shishir, being personally pushing and involved in this subject. The net positive strategy, summarize it, it's a huge ambition to give more, to give back more than we take from the environment. That's a 20, 30 years journey. But on a very, very pragmatic, we have 4 priorities, which is about timber and really making sure all the timber we source is from sustainable forest. We work towards energy savings for our products, but as well for operation, our stores, and as well our supply chain. We want to drive eco-innovation, which is bringing far more recycling materials or recycled materials and capability to recycle the products. And as well, we care about the communities where we source, we buy, but as well where we sell, and our stores. But all that is very nice, but I think, and Anson raised it in the KPMG report as well, and this is another report from Consumer Goods 2013 showing that clearly there is a trading down of customers. 48% of the customers have reduced their purchases of premium brands. We expect to see the private label development keep going on. And for the suppliers in the room, we also expect retailers to capture cost savings through further standardization and improved purchasing. So price is still on the table. So how is all that then impacting our sourcing strategy and organization? We've been moving towards, we are going new ways of working, and you will see in a minute that we are first renewing our sourcing model, our sourcing organization, to enable a far more integrated new product development process. And we want to reach a cycle there from customers to factories, back to customers. Last but not least, we'll be keeping a very, very strong focus on cost, but that will requires as well that we get into new ways of sourcing and new way of buying. So if we start with the sourcing model, we've been, as I said, we opened the office here in 1994, and it was about shipment, FOB, imports, mainly for B&Q, China-centric. Then we moved, we had more customers, more stores. We had to move to a OpCo organization where we had a team dedicated for each customers. Then we said, yeah, but then we don't drive any synergies, so we need to drive and move to a category organization where we drive synergies of vendors, synergies on products. And then the last, above the products, we take care of the brands, and we try to develop more innovative products and as well be really a truly global sourcing organization. So we've been moving from direct import, which is about going direct, cutting the middleman, China focus, but same products at lower price, to a global sourcing organization where we do and we try to do category management. So it's full range sourced globally We care about differentiation and innovation in our brands. We develop a truly global sourcing footprint. So it's not only about China and lower costs, but it's about removing cost and driving sales up. So we've been very recently changing our organization, and we've been moving from the Kingfisher sourcing organization to a Kingfisher sourcing and offer organization. And behind the change of the name, there is a real change of ways of working that we're introducing there. So the new organization of sourcing will be roughly split in three main parts. One is the global sourcing, where I belong, which is really the sourcing offices worldwide, where we keep going and working on sourcing, quality, and supply chain. And our purpose here to be closer to the factories, very, very close to the factories. We are now setting up teams in Europe, in our retail operation, which are in charge of what we've called commercial sourcing. So they're going to be linking and developing the brief, the demand side, working as well on quality and marketing and brands. And then we have a centralized group team working on offer development with design capabilities and engineering capabilities, but as well group inside. So these guys are looking and doing surveys with our customers. So this is our kind of new organization. I think it's quite new, quite recent, and interesting to see that we try to be both closer to factories and closer to customers with this new way of working. So we are setting up a kind of new product development process from the market research, the market insights, towards the engineering, the design of the products, and then the production. So in a few summary, it all starts for us by analyzing our ranges and our sales of the past season, of the past year. Then we integrate with designers, stylists, and as well consumer insights, the global trends and the marketing inputs. Then we work on design, detailed specification with our teams in Europe, which is going to be then sourced, tendered, and we work on vendor qualification, prototypes the new products, developed from the design to a real products. There is a huge amount of work here and a lot of iterative works. And finally, manufacturing control, shipping, all that to deliver exclusive and best-in-class product ranges. So this is the new product development process we are working on. To illustrate a bit, so our teams in Europe are going into the customer homes. They are looking at our customer using the products. And that's the example of tiling, where we get a few customers on the spot putting their tiles. And we see that there are opportunities to make it easier and faster for them. So after this survey, we've been then developing the click tiles, which you can do 7 times faster, the peel and stick ceramic tiles, or the slim tiles, which you can put, you don't need to remove the old tiles, you can put it on the other. So this is really what we try to do, is to drive an innovation, making it easier for customers after having looked at how they do. Same for mowing the lawn. There are a lot of issues that our customers are encountering. You don't experience much of that here in Hong Kong, but our UK customers, the keen gardeners, they know about that. A lot of preparation issues, storage problem, which power should I choose, and then handling issues. So again, our teams in Shanghai have been working over the last 12 months to develop a very easier mower with very, very easy to store, easy to set up, easy to clean. And this product is now just reaching our stores last week. Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be a big success. So what we try to do with that is to building up our brands. And the example of the McAllister range and the McAllister brand on power tools, which was really a Me Too sourcing. We were just copying Bosch or Black & Decker. We've moved to our own design product development, bringing new features and design. And this year as well, we'll be launching a very, very innovative brands. Or for the keen barbecue guys, unfortunately that's not available here in Hong Kong, but we got a fantastic Bloomer range of barbecue that has just been set up. On top of the quality and design, it's quality of Weber, by the way, hope they are not in the room. On top of the quality and design, we have real ease of use features there, easy products to assemble, to cook, to clean, and to store. So this is really what we try to bring. So this absolutely new focus on product development bring as well a few challenges, and at least a clear focus for sourcing as well. We have to source products at lower cost. And this is really what the global sourcing operation has to do now. Nice to say, easy to say, a bit more difficult to say to do when we know that cheap China is going over, and alternatives are either just emerging, or sometimes they will remain limited or risky. So if we look at the good old model of our total acquisition costs, the low-cost country model was just about reducing the production cost by getting cheaper labor or by using the scale and combining volume to get lower FOB. So going forward, to reduce the cost of our products, we'll have to look in a different way. We're going to have to start doing technical sourcing, where we may have to source components on our own. We may have to reduce the quantity of material used here and there, and to be smart. We may have as well to deeper broaden our global sourcing operation to go and find multiple sources, but as well review our manufacturing engineering and look and work with our vendors on the way they manufacture and push them for more and more automation. And last but not least, we have as well to reduce the cost of our products by developing end-to-end solutions. So what we are doing now in the Kingfisher sourcing world is deploying absolutely and piloting, trying to be agile, a lot of different new sourcing models. Global sourcing, definitely, e-sourcing and global tenders, vendor development, component sourcing, product engineering, costing, getting a far better understanding of the cost of our products, but as well working on working capital, logistic optimization, and always sustainability. So just to finalize this presentation of these three main topics, maybe, with our products, we are looking at costing, engineering, and development. So we are really started. We cannot do that on 45,000 products, as you can imagine, but we have now piloted initiatives where we combine our components. So the tier 2 suppliers, we go to the tier 2 suppliers and understand what are the key components used into some of our major products. We harmonize these products. We harmonize the quality as well, and then we combine that for global purchases. Yeah? So we're starting doing that on key categories for us. There are challenges on the way there, but one of the main benefits is to ensure more consistent quality coming from less different sources and far better consistency. We're then looking at product engineering, and it's about reducing costs. So looking at what are the fixed costs of our supplies, how can we redesign the products, is there alternative materials we could use, how can we bring less packaging as well, which is in some categories a big cost of the products, or better productivity in our factories. So again, and a lot of retailers are looking at that at the moment, we are trying to optimize our packaging with impressive reduction that we can achieve if we just focus on it. You see here for bathroom accessories, we achieve 30% packaging weight reductions, 55 on the next product. And then not only that can help us to decrease the price of the products, but as well the cost of the supply chain and the logistic behind that. Yeah? So we work on this part of the products, but we as well work more and more with our suppliers for the new product development. And again, we are not a brand. We work in a very iterative way with our knowledge, our own engineers, but as well our vendors have got a fantastic knowledge of products. So it's really a shared and an iterative process of sharing and working together on new product development. We start as well to get into the very sophisticated cost breakdown. So not only costing the components, but as well understanding the process of manufacturing and the cost of this process, the cost of logistics. And last but not least, we try to bring as well eco or sustainable features into our products or to find alternatives. And you got here an example of a printed bamboo flooring that looks not like a traditional Chinese bamboo flooring. It looks like teak or jatoba or merbau, so it looks like a very nice exotic wood. It is 3 times harder than oak and is half price. And this is really the kind of eco-innovation we want to bring to our customers. Yeah, it looks like exotic wood, but it's not, and it's as hard, but far cheaper. So there are a few examples of products like that we are developing every year and trying to bring to our customers. With our vendors, it's a permanent story of buying and selling. It's about first making sure we have the right vendors. So we keep going and sourcing, and we source worldwide. We believe that today we are 80% for our sourcing, 20% near sourcing. We believe over the next 5 to 10 years it could move to 60-40, but there's still growth in far and an accelerated growth in near sourcing. We are as well extending quickly in Southeast Asia, looking at far more opportunities around Vietnam, Cambodia as well, Indonesia. But what's the most important is that then we tender all our new ranges globally, and then we can really benchmark the different prices, different origins, and different quality as well. Once we have selected the right partners and the right vendors, we move then to the second phase, which is more and more about vendor collaboration. And it's really working together to improve productivity, competitivity, and sustainability. 2 examples here with some of our light bulb suppliers. We've been working on their, bringing engineers there, and we've been working together on the line of production lines, and we've been together able to improve some of the processes to reduce the costs and to improve productivity. And we'll have to do more of that, especially for the medium-sized suppliers. We work with world top-class suppliers. They don't need us there, but there are some second tier, if you want, of suppliers where medium-sized factories where they need support, they need to be enhanced and stimulated to improve their production capabilities. Another initiative, which is we've developed for 3 years now with the WWF here in Hong Kong, and which is called the LCMP program, so the Low Carbon Manufacturing Program. This is a great, fantastic initiative from WWF. And we are, again, bringing a lot of vendors into this program. It's based on energetic audit, actually, of the factories, understanding how our suppliers are working with their insulation, with their machines, with their lighting, with their heating and cooling. And after a real assessment of their capabilities, there will be then, and done by third parties, professionals, there will be there a recommendation of improvement. Some can be very quick wins, and some will be harder investment in playing real monies. So over the last 3 years, we've been pushing 25 of our vendors into this program. And I tell you, the guys were a bit reluctant at the very beginning, and then they all come back with fantastic feedback. They are definitely reducing their CO2 emissions, but at the same time, so impacting their carbon footprint, reducing their carbon footprint, but they see as well real savings in their energy bills every month. And that is, again, kind of practices that will be absolutely enhancing and stimulating with our vendors. Last but not least, it's about products. It is about vendors, but it is as well about supply chain, and that is one of the big work for us in Kingfisher, because we are a very, very decentralized business. We are not only one IT system and one supply chain. It's quite complex. So we are trying as well here to optimize times and routes to market with always lower cost and low inventory at destination, which is as well not about shipping full load of containers and building huge stock in Europe. So big work stream is on forecasting and replenishment. And then linked to that, how do we forecast accurately? Starting with demand forecast and then product forecast, order forecast. That's not an easy topic. And then bringing that to our vendors and sharing this data with our vendors so that we can reduce or optimize our MOQ. We can relook at the production lead times. We've trialed as well some programs of storage at origin instead of destination, of vendor management inventory, early production for seasonal products. So there are plenty of creative things we can do. Again, that does not apply to all the categories. We are still at the early stage, but there are significant savings to get out of our supply chain. And then, of course, getting more and more near sourcing. There are new routes to market. We are working as well on distribution, consolidation, moving containers direct to stores in some cases instead of going through warehouse and adding cost in the chain. But the main key challenge will remain having a proper TAC model, which is a full, true, total acquisition costs understanding. And until we don't really understand where are the costs in our supply chain and how to measure them properly, we won't put in place the right, accurate measures. So that's it for me. As a conclusion, we are trying to put all the pieces of this huge puzzle together. And it's about being close to our customers, understanding the trends, understanding the consumer insights, but as well being closer to the factories and being always better at sourcing, at costing, at supplying. And in the middle, this is the added value that we want to drive. It's about bringing always the best quality creating our own designs and bringing some innovative features, but not innovation for the sake of it, innovation around ease of use. So we're trying to build this end-to-end vision. It's a journey. It's not done yet. We try to integrate our processes with a new organization. And clearly, it's all about, at each piece of the chain, trying to build the expertise up, trying to create smart connection, intelligent connections, and the right coordination. But at the end of the day, it's all about being very, very agile and moving up, getting up every morning out of bed and trying to invent new solutions. Thank you very much.
Franck, that was excellent. I'm sure everybody will agree with me. That was outstanding. Lots and lots of content. It had me thinking, writing down lots of notes. A couple of comments that you made that I picked up on. And in fact, we're going to have a poll question based on some of your comments in a moment. You talked about being closer to your customers. Between, over the last couple of years, how close have you become? I mean, and also, how well do you know the customers? So, for example, in China, and we're talking about a big area, and you guys have got stores across China, how well do you know those Chinese consumers?
That's a good question, because they're not the easiest consumers, especially in DIY, because DIY is not a favorite sport in China.
No.
People have homes and they need to improve it, but they really either don't like to do DIY, or they don't know, or they don't want. Yeah? So that's certainly the most challenging country for us. But what we've done, again, is it was not about copy-pasting our B&Q model in the UK, not at all. We had to develop design centers where the customers will see it. We can design his flat, and he can see how the products look like. And then we have to install the products for them as well, because they won't do it. Yeah?
Right.
So how to know the Chinese customer better? Actually, we've done what we do in the other countries. It's about surveys, it's about looking at them, listening to them, but as well, we visited 500 flats in China, and we have pictures of it.
Okay.
And it's really amazing to see what are all the opportunities in terms of storage, of kitchen, bathroom, all the opportunities of improvement we have in China.
Good point. Very good. And I'm sure it was very interesting visiting all those family.
I haven't done personally, but I've done just a few.
Now,
our team's done.
Listen, being English, of course, I love gardening. I don't. But a lot of English people like gardening. How about French people? Do they like gardening?
They do. But they prefer barbecue and lying down.
Okay, so they're like barbecue.
Less of horticulture, more on the...
How about the Chinese? Do they like gardening?
They don't have gardens. They have balcony, but as you can see, balcony are not used for enjoying. They're used to get the dry cleaning, yeah?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Clothed, so different use of balcony.
And they, of course, they can't see out of the balcony either, can they? Okay. Manon, the web guru of the French Chamber. Can we put up our poll question? Now, Franck, this is based on your comments. Remember, you talked about those 4 trends. You said there are 4 global trends. I've slightly changed the last one, just slightly. But which is the most important trend? In your views, ladies and gentlemen, which is the most important trend? Is it about going mobile? Is it about buying sustainable? Is it about that safe and secure supply chain? Or is it the data analytics on the consumer? Let's vote. Okay. Funky music. I'll just dance up and down. Come on, get your mobile phones out. Where's Francois? He's gone. Oh, you're there, Francois. You're hiding. You fixed your mobile phone. See, that'll teach you. Okay, is everyone voting? Richard, have you voted? You have? Has everybody voted? Done? Sorted? Have we all voted? Gentlemen, ladies? Have you voted? Okay, great. Okay. So, let's see. What is... Look at that. Going mobile. Going mobile, 40%. Manon, go back. We got it somewhere. Okay, well, I definitely saw going mobile. Sorry. Going mobile 40%. Buying sustainable. Oh my God, where's Laura Beth? Laura Beth, you're going to have a heart attack. 9%. My goodness. Safe and secure supply chain, 21%. Data analytics on the consumer, 31%. So, the mobile, going mobile, has it? You surprised about that?
No, I think shared at the break before. I was on the NTR yesterday, and I think I was not on my mobile phone, but I was the only one. I was just watching people, and everybody was on their mobiles. Yeah, it's just a trend, and it's all happening like that. It's gonna be, however, connected with physical stores. How do we connect that more? How do you get the products, information on the products through the mobile, and etc. So it's a very exciting trend. Yeah, but it's not all gonna go through the mobiles in terms of purchasing. There's still in some area where you really need reinsurance, you need human contact, you need to touch the products. So it is a huge trend. But it's not the only one.
But those, you kind of raised that point about the how-to videos.
Yeah.
They're very popular, aren't they?
Yeah.
Especially in China.
Absolutely.
They're incredibly popular.
Yeah. This is really very, very didactics, simple didactics, but they are really, really used, and a lot of customers will go online and try it. Yeah.
Okay. So data analytics. Okay, anybody for any questions, any comments? Do we agree? Do we disagree? Do you think I'm talking rubbish? Do you think Frank's talking rubbish? Frank's definitely not talking rubbish. Thank you, sir. If you can state your name and the company.
Thierry Lambourg from Carrefour Global Sourcing. I have two questions. The first one is, do you see any concrete consequence of the increase of the mobile purchasing in Europe to your sourcing organization here? And the second question is, you take more category management responsibility. How do you manage the overlap you can have with the category manager in different retail you have in Europe?
Yeah. I'll start with the second one, maybe. In terms of organization, we've been developing a lot of category management here in Asia, in our sourcing offices. But by setting up far more commercial sourcing teams in Europe, we're going to have to refocus ourselves here far more on products, cost, and vendors. So the category management, if you want, in the spirit of understanding the trends of the market, will migrate a bit more back to Europe, closer to the customers, and we'll be here getting their data and insights to work with our suppliers. But again, it's not a one-way, because innovation can come from the suppliers as well. We have very, very innovative manufacturers, so it's really about both ways, bringing the stuff, but the category management is getting clearly more and more close to the customers. For the mobile impact on our business, and especially on the retail side, I would say we don't see much of this here. We don't see much impact on our sourcing activities right now. There are a few impacts on packaging of the products. We need to be more safer because they're going to go on different supply chain routes or whatever. I predict and I still foresee that they're going to be a challenge on volumes, because if you go on mass customization, there may be more and more personalized products, so with less volume per product in terms of shipping. And so that's a challenge back to the supply chain, but as well the production. How can we mass customized? How can we have lower volume going through our entire supply chain? That's going to be a challenge forward, I think.
Any other comments, any other questions for Frank? Richard? Can we get a microphone? Thanks. I just pick on people. Richard Thomas, Marks and Spencer.
Very good presentation, Frank. What are going to be the effects of the developments on free trade, for example? The removal of barriers for importing goods into China, and also things like TPP, which is obviously freeing up a lot of, or driving a lot of investments in places like Vietnam for supplying into the US.
Frankly, we don't see much impact right now. in our categories, but maybe because we have, again, very, very diversified, product categories. Textile is a very, very small part for us. We see clearly opportunities in Southeast Asia. That's traditionally where we've been buying a lot of garden furniture and some products like that. So we get into more categories, but there is not much big impact for us at the moment. Yeah. So we keep watching, but I know we had this conversation as well before that there is big impact on textile, but far less for us. We do a bit of home decoration. It's mainly from China, India, and Turkey. So less impact on the footprint so far.
Any other comments? Frank, just one of these age-old questions. China, for years and years, the center of sourcing. We saw this morning some of the statistics that Ben put up, Ben Simpfendorfer. There's obviously a move, there's this shift into Southeast Asia. Is that going to continue? Are we going to see a sharper movement towards Southeast Asia for a number of those products?
Again, I think Ben highlighted some of the constraints and the barriers to move as well. Yeah, so clearly there is a trend. We all know, and we discussed about that last year here on the Made in Asia near far sourcing topic. Yeah, but there will be a shift. But clearly, on some of our product categories, all the manufacturing hubs capabilities are in China. The logistic capabilities, the component development, manufacturing is all in China, and that's not going to move away. The challenge is more for our suppliers to move into automation because they won't be the labor there, or it won't be cheap.
Right.
But if we look at power tools, 99% are manufactured in around Shanghai, 2-3 hours from Shanghai. Are they going to remain there? Because I don't see that happening in Vietnam tomorrow. Right. There is no capability, no commercial, no manufacturing hub around it. Yeah. So Africa, clearly, when you saw the numbers this morning, is a very interesting one, and I know some of our textile colleagues are already looking there. We'll be following. We'll come later when you guys have tried. But clearly,
so after they've tried and failed,
yeah, we try them first, and then we'll follow it once it's a bit more secure. But clearly, Africa will be something where I think many retailers will be looking at. Yeah.
Another quick question. Yesterday, Ben and I, with the senior guys at Lenovo, they raised an interesting point. They said that they were moving a number of different hubs, clusters. Yeah. They were moving to Chengdu, and they were moving quite significant operations there, and they said that they saw a point in time where the trains and railway would be able to access the European markets a lot quicker than shipping. What's your view on that?
So the new Silk Road, yeah?
Yeah, the new Silk Road.
Actually, so far, and that's why it's very important to have this total acquisition cost model as a retailer, to really understand if we take this route or take another route, what's going to be the final landed cost in my stores or to the customers. So there is clearly, we don't see from our manufacturing base and suppliers, we don't see a big shift to the West China side.
Right.
For one reason is that will then mitigate the risk or extend the length of the supply chain going west, because we are not selling so much in China today for the sourcing operation. I think for manufacturers who are as well selling into China, it makes absolutely sense for automobile or whatever to bring the manufacturing as well closer to these second-tier cities. Yeah.
Yep.
But for us today, there is not the link. So the new Silk Road is not really operating. Moving west, it's a big investment to save a bit of cost on the short term, but we know the cost of the next 5 years will rise as well. And so a healthy conversation we have very, very often with our suppliers, but we don't see guys closing down their factories around Shanghai, $100 million US investment to reset up in Chengdu tomorrow to ship back to Shanghai port or to Ningbo and Shenzhen. So it's not happening yet.
Not happening yet.
Not happening yet.
But maybe in the future.
Maybe. We'll watch it.
I guess we'll watch it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you'll agree, a great presentation from Franck, some real insights. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Please join me in thanking Franck Moreno.